Hello and welcome to Military Mayday. We're pointing out a few pieces on the chessboard. Looks like the military is getting the biggest pay raise in 2 decades. Finalize the newly released defense bill. Well, it ain't going to be probably enough to even cover inflation at 5.2%. But it is a start. I would always assume it would be best to give them more tax breaks, housing cuts, shit like that. I at least had that in there. Nothing else. Service members get a 5.2% pay raise come January under the compromise annual defense bill unveiled Wednesday night. The pay bump endorsing National Defense Authorization Act, or the NDAA, will mark the biggest raise for the service members in more than 2 decades. A 5.2 raise in basic pay means about go from $1,100 per month per $1,100 per more per year for the most junior service members to more than $10,000 per year for senior officers. The bill, the result of months of negotiation between the House and Senate, must still win final approval from each chamber and be signed by President Joe Biden before becoming law. It is expected to easily pass Congress before the end of the year. This year's NDAA endorsed raises matched with the Biden administration's requested, which in turn matched what a formula set in a separate federal law said troops would be entitled to next year. The 5.2 increase is the highest. Service members got a 6.9% increase in 2002. It also comes after troops got a 4.6 raise this year. Federal law mandates pay raise for troops every January independent of the NDAA, but lawmakers have also been increasing concerns about service members' compensation amid a heightened focus on quality of life issues and efforts to reverse the recruiting crisis. In addition to the pay raise, the NDAA seeks to improve junior service members' finances and allow the military service to get E6s and below a monthly bonus if prevailing economic conditions adversely affect them. The rate of bonuses, which only be allowed in 2024, would be set by the service secretaries. The compromise bill would also allow the service secretaries to exclude basic allowance for housing, for income calculations, for a stipend to help food insecure troops if a service member has demonstrated need for extra income to meet basic needs. That falls short of the original House draft of the bill that would have categorized exclusive BAE from income calculations for what's known as the basic needs allowance. Meanwhile, the compromised NDAA would also allow for more flexibility to adjust BAH to respond to housing market conditions. The NDAA may not be the last word on 2024 military pay. House Republicans included their version of the separate annual Pentagon spending bill, a 30% pay and boost for E6s and below to ensure no service member makes less than the equivalent of $15 per hour. Ooh, well, that was kind of sharp, I think. That might work some way. But an effort to do the same thing in the NDAA was unsuccessful, with negotiators on the compromise NDAA noting several studies of military pay are still ongoing, including by the House Armed Services Committee's Quality of Life panel. The White House has also said it strongly opposes overhauling pay chart in the appropriations bill, while the administration in the midst of a comprehensive review of military pay. The 14th quadrennial review of the military compensation was launched at the beginning of this year and is expected to wrap up by 2025. Lawmakers are continuing to negotiate a final spending bill, which faces a February deadline. So hopefully by the end of next year, or the middle of next year, they'll actually get their pay. But we just don't know. U.S. holds military exercise in Guyana as border tensions soar. The United States said it will carry out military flights in Ghana on Thursday in a joint operations as the South American country faces soaring tensions with neighboring Venezuela over a contested oil-rich region. In collaboration with the Guyana Defence Force, the U.S. Southern Command will conduct flight operations with Guyana on December 7th. The American Embassy in Guyana said that in a statement, noting the flights are part of routine engagement to enhance a security partnership between the two countries. So is America there for Venezuela or for Guyana because they've done some deals with Venezuela for oil. It's been a few months back. Allow them to start selling oil. That's when a lot of this really came around. And now there's the U.S. down there. So I can only imagine what they're there for. But we'll get on with the article here. The border feud has recently spiraled over the oil-rich Essequibo region controlled by Guyana for more than a century, but which Venezuela also claims has a voice intent to take over. The long-running dispute over Essequibo, with compromises some two-thirds of Guyanese territory, has intensified since ExxonMobil discovered oil there in 2015. Venezuela President Maduro has raised the pressure in recent days after gaining overwhelming support in a referendum on Essequibo's fate that was held Sunday. Essequibo is home to 125,000 of Guyan's 800,000 citizens. Litigation is pending before the International Court of Justice, the Hague over where the region's border should lie. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't think that's it. That's it. All the article. The U.S. is going into South America, baby. It's pretty much what it looks like to me. Anywho, if you enjoy this information, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Anyway, toodaloo.